Bob, our friend John Heyman reported yesterday, I should say earlier today, well, I guess it was late yesterday, that the Jays have had some, or one of the teams that have had some conversations with the Miami Marlins about D. Gordon, which makes a certain amount of sense because he does kind of profile both in terms of his contract and in terms of his skill set he fits nicely into the Jays, kind of the Jays thinking. But Bob, I get the sense there are still people out there who think that Mark Shapiro is going to be more of an active seller than a buyer. Are you getting that sense, or are people kind of maybe coming around to the idea now that Shapiro isn't necessarily going to be as much of a seller?
I think, people that know Mark Shapiro, I think he would love to be a seller and
Hmm.
kind of reboot that thing in his own fashion. But I think people, in the organization and close ownership there say, you can't. And you can't be drawing close to 4 million fans, be the country's national team, and reboot and sell off guys. You got to keep going for it. And let's be honest, in the American League, everybody's in it. The wild card race, except for about 2 or 3 teams. So even if they don't win the East, you can get in there. Everybody sees the talent. I can't see it. If you want to do something in the off season and maybe move a Donaldson a year before free agency, you could see that. But I can't see him give it up now.
What do you think the value of a Josh Donaldson would be in this market right now, just out of interest sake?
Well, I think it'd be a staggering amount. I think you get as much for him just about as any player in baseball. That could be on the trade block. Just third basemen are so hard to find. I mean, somebody would have overpaid for Mike Moustakas of the Royals,
Hmm.
and this guy you'd much rather have than Moustakas. Teams like St. Louis would love to have the guy, but if you trade Moustakas, you better get someone's very top prospect and probably a second guy that's in the top 10 as well, and then the third guy in the top 15. I think it'd be a steep price. But worth it,
Hmm.
if you really think you're one piece away.
Which team are you particularly interested in watching as we get close to the trade deadline? There's talk that the Yankees may kind of get involved in this, but is there a team that you think is could be the team that kind of drives the market at the deadline? Houston would kind of be my obvious guess.
Yeah, I mean Houston. I still think they got to go get one more starter just to put them over the top. Give them a chance to go all the way to the World Series and win it. I don't
Hmm.
think without a starter, I think they're going to fall short in the postseason. I'm kind of curious with the NL Central, Jeff. Just with here's the Brewers. The Brewers are supposed to sell off and everything else. Now they got to go for it. They're sitting and singing first place almost all year. You got to go for this thing. I think the Cubs have got to be very aggressive and go get their starter. And I think St. Louis has to do something. So I think it's, talking to some scouts the other day, the beauty of the trade deadline is exactly who really wants to win and who doesn't.